All right, we are getting this started. As usual, we're just a minute early and we're going to wait for everybody to come on in. We'll get started. I was just doing some posts on Instagram about this app that I love to use in order to organize my Instagram content, which makes things so much easier. But that's not what this webinar is about today. Today, we are going to be covering how to actually host an online real estate event, which, this is going to be a fun one. I am excited. So let's just take a moment. Let's see, we have people trickling in. And actually, let me grab a bottle of water. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Unmute myself. Perfect, got my water. We're going to get started. All right, so as usual, if this is your first time in here, hello. My name is Amanda. I am a real estate agent in Queens, New York. Amanda Bojorquez, a real estate agent in Queens, New York. I am with eXp Realty, the Ian Alexander real estate team. But today's free training, which is happening now, is brought to you by Design for Realtors, which we'll talk a little bit about later. There are no upsells here. No funny business, but we're gonna have fun in this, and I'm going to break down how you can host an online real estate event that is going to generate more business for you. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want: relationships and closings. So if you can, inside of the chat area, if you just hit that chat box, let me know what city, state you're from, what brokerage you're with. I know that we tend to have a lot of Long Island, New York, New Jersey in here. Sometimes people from outside of the country, which is super awesome. But yeah, let's jump right in. So I'm gonna share my screen. And all right, so how to host an online real estate event. Given with everything going on right now, this has become a pretty hot topic. A lot of people there was a little bit of a learning curve in order to get started with online events, specifically team meetings and things like that. For this particular training, we're going to go over events that you can host that are going to generate buyers and sellers and investors into your database. But you can follow these same principles for a lot of different things. We're going to talk about tools and stuff like that. So some of the stuff that we're going to cover is why they fail. I know a lot of real estate agents who actually will put an online event together even before this whole COVID-19 thing happened. And they'll put an online event together and it just won't work out. It didn't seem worth the time and effort of the promotion and design work. So we're going to go over why that happens, how you can avoid it. I'm going to talk about the benefits, what types of events you can host, which we're going to have some cool ideas in there. Tools you can use to actually make it happen, how to market your online event, different places that you should be putting it in, post-event protocol, some ideas of what to do after the event to actually up the ante and be able to convert people into actual clients and customers, and collaborative events as well. So just a reminder that all of these free trainings are brought to you by Design for Realtors. I'd love it if you could check us out at designforrealtors.com, where we actually have a whole list of other trainings that are in the blog education area of the website. And those range from introduction to Facebook ads. What else? We've got funnel success strategies, squeeze page strategies, how to build email blasts, etc., etc. So many things, and we're adding more and more every day. So if you've been watching these trainings, we've been doing our best to record them and actually get them up on there. So designforrealtors.com. So let's understand why events fail. Does anyone have any ideas as to why events fail? If you want, put in the chat for me. What are some, have you ever tried to host an online event? How did it go? Okay, so we have one person who says lack of promotion. So that's actually a great one. And that's very, very true. So lack of promotion is definitely one of them. And the whole premise is just that the event was poorly executed. Okay, and I know that that kind of seems like, oh, duh, but it's important to acknowledge that it's a very simple reason that they fail. It's lack of promotion, lack of follow up, or that it's the wrong type of event, which we'll talk about later. Okay, but I want you to keep that in mind, that the promotion and the follow up of the events that you host online, especially if it's an event similar to this one where you're on video, you're talking to people, you've gotten people to sign up to it, and they come to your event. The follow up is everything, which we'll talk about later. So some of the benefits of hosting a digital event are that you can do them anytime, anywhere, pants optional. I know that that's a joke going on now. There was actually someone on the news who didn't wear pants while they were broadcasting, and it got caught. So that was funny. So definitely make sure you've got your camera angle set up. I'll let you all know I do have pants on today. But I see someone else commented, Gisele says, not prepared, pressure of all eyes on you, which is very true. That is another reason that events fail. And in that case, it would be that you were very nervous while you were speaking, or maybe you just didn't put the event together at all. You had the idea for it, but you were a little too nervous. A lot of agents go through that. So, obviously, anytime, anywhere, quote unquote, patents optional. Another thing is that it's cost effective. If you're going to host a real estate event for buyers, sellers, or investors or renters, it can be costly to actually rent out a space or reserve a space or a meeting room to get everybody in there. You've got to have refreshments and snacks available. Usually people do that. And I know, we can have lenders and title companies and things like that offer to pay for those things. But there's a benefit of doing it digital. You can invite people to, BYOB, whether it's a glass of wine or their breakfast, whatever time that you want to host the event. Another great thing is replays and that they're flexible. Now, emphasis on the replays aspect, because when we talk a little later about what to do after your event is over, the replay thing is going to be the kicker. And you'll see. So, if you're watching this, I really, really hope that you stay to the end, because I'm going to break something down that is really going to kind of like, especially if you've never heard of it before. It's definitely something that can work to your benefit and bring you business while you are sleeping. Okay, so let's go over the types of events that you can host, right? There's a lot of different kinds. You've got first-time home buyer seminars, beginner investor seminars, right? And you might be thinking like, wait a second, I'm a real estate agent. Why would I be like telling people how to become a beginner investor? And the truth is that one side of the business. You can actually collaborate with another investor to speak specifically about the investing side while you speak about the transactional side, and maybe get a lender to talk about the lending side and things like that. You can get very, very creative with all of this. Plus, investors, they buy houses. Don't shy away from them. And especially if the market, slides down, which we're all staring very closely at it, wondering if it will. And if it does, you want to pivot your focus possibly to investors. Deals are always happening, but investors are always buying. So credit improvement as a online event. That's a great one, especially if you're looking at renters who maybe they want to become buyers, they have the down payment, but their credit is shot, right? They're not getting the best rates for their mortgage. You can totally host a credit improvement one, which is a great one, because some people are a little shy, possibly intimidated, possibly embarrassed even, to come learn about how to fix their credit or improve their credit. And if you host it online, they have sort of that advantage of anonymity, right? Now, FSBO seminars. This is a great one. And a lot of agents will actually shy away from doing this, but if you tell a FSBO that you will help them understand how to sell their home for free, right? Now, don't shoot me yet. Don't shoot the messenger. But there is a way to help FSBOs that will lead to them possibly hiring you down the line, right? But you've got to be helpful. Have an abundant mindset. Don't be afraid to give them advice, right? If they sell it on their own, they sell it on their own. But chances are, a large percentage of them, over 90%, are going to wind up working with an agent. So why not position yourself as the agent who gave them advice when no other agent wanted to, and every other agent only approached them for the sake of, hey, let me list your property, because clearly you can't do it on your own, right? So Virtual showings, which is a popular one right now. I put an asterisk there. Now, traditionally, showings would happen in person, right? But with everything going on, virtual showings are a big one, which I was actually inside of a coaching call recently. It was live, just like this, a meeting room, and this person told everyone that as of right now, because of everything going on, we are all brand new agents. And that what we should be focused on top of all of our duties on a daily basis where we're trying to keep busy and make deals happen and push them across the pipeline is, if you especially don't have clients, you should be conducting 3 to 5 virtual showings per day. And one agent inside of that coaching room asks, well, how am I supposed to do all those showings? I don't have any clients or anyone or listings. What am I supposed to show, right? And the person who was hosting the call said, show me, show your friends, show your family. Just set up a Facebook event, schedule it 3 times a day, go get some video footage from somewhere, whether it's a team member, another listing agent, or something that's online that you can use that's of actual listing that's available right now, and show it. Do the virtual showing, set up these consultations. Now, that's just one example of a small piece of advice regarding virtual showings, which, technically unrelated to this this particular training. But I thought that was really powerful, because his whole premise was that if you were to really be diligent about trying to make that happen 3 to 5 times a day, every week, once a week, you probably are going to walk away with at least one new client, right? Somebody who's ready to be on your contact list and possibly pull the trigger on purchasing a home soon, or selling a home, who knows? Sometimes buyers are sellers. So relocation seminar, which is great, especially virtually, if you're dealing with people who are possibly out of state and you want to get people who are out of state that want to move in state, right? Home seller seminars, right? Possibly locals who are interested in, what the value of their home is and things like that. You can set up an entire seminar on that. Mortgage 101, right? Now, you would probably cover this in a first-time buyer seminar, but you could just be the host completely of a mortgage seminar where it's all about mortgages, the different types of mortgages available to first-time home buyers, or possibly grants, right? You could host one based on grants that first-time home buyers are able to get, that they might qualify for, what those qualifications might look like. And there's different rules and stuff like that you'll be able to discuss with whatever mortgage lender you want to pair up with, and whatever the state rules are where you are. But lots of options: financial literacy, virtual consultations. Does anyone else in here have an idea for a type of virtual event that you could host? We'll shout it out if you do have another idea that we didn't just list. But there's so many different things that you can do, and each and every one of these will actually get you buyers and sellers. Okay, so let's talk about how to actually make this happen, right? Because if we go back, you have all of these, right? And for the most part, even if you're a brand new agent, if there's a will, there's a way. You can make this happen with not too much knowledge, right? I'm talking about like practical, tactical, strategic knowledge through actual experience, right? Let's say you're a brand new agent and you don't necessarily have the transactional experience to feel confident to do these things. These are still possible through collaboration, which we'll talk about later. But you want to keep in mind that it's not just the title of the seminar or whatever you want to call it, the workshop, the webinar, the virtual training, the video training, the whatever it is. There's so many titles for it. It's not just about the title. It's not just about the topic. It's also about how you get it done. That's the big thing. That's what's going to keep you from failing, right? So let's go over tools you can use for the video aspect, right? So right now, a lot of you probably registered for this through Zoom, right? And I'm hosting this through Zoom, but there's a whole other host of places that you can actually make this happen. There's Zoom meetings, which is completely free. Then there's also Zoom webinars, right? Which is, I believe the entry level package for that is $40 a month. And you can have up to 100 people inside, and it's private style like this, where you're not face to face with anyone. I'm just taking a sip of water. There's GoToMeetings, which is another platform. They have a meetings version and then they have a webinar version. So it's up to you if you want to do it where like the buyers and sellers are face to face with you, kind of how a lot of us have probably been doing our team meetings and brokerage meetings, right? Or you can do webinar style. And that's that. If you hear a little kitty meowing like crazy in the background, that's Jeffy. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know about him. He's in the bathroom causing a ruckus. Don't worry, he's not locked in there. He likes to go in there for some reason and meow. So StreamYard is another one. And StreamYard is actually something I came across recently, which I so want to try because it looks really cool. But it actually will allow you to put like little messaging signs on the bottom and have your logo of here or here and have overlays and switch between screens, and you can have like your face and your presentation off to the side. And they have a free account which would have the StreamYard information on there. Like they won't let you put special stuff on it, but the upgraded version is only $20 a month, which you can't beat that. I spend way more than that on lattes. So it's worth taking a look at, especially if you want to get into video content and keep it really, really creative and cool. It's user-friendly too, I might add. So another thing you'll need is a webcam, which most of us have, but if you don't have one, you can find one very easily on Amazon, for example, or eBay. And then if you want to use a DSLR and actually like shoot HD video while you do these meetings, it's not something that everyone's going to want to do and go through the tech side of it. But if it is something that interests you, you wouldn't be able to just connect your DSLR to your computer. You would also need a video capture device, which is going to run you anywhere from the $100 to $500 range. And you're going to have to set that up on your own on your computer. So just keep that in mind. A few other tools you'll need are Google Slides, which is what I'm showing you right now. You can also use Canva, which Canva also has the ability to do presentations as well. And it's 100% free. If you don't know what Canva is, I highly recommend you check it out at canva.com. Another thing that you'll need is stock photos, right? So photos to put in the background of your actual presentation. So for example, if I show you what's behind here, right, you can see that there's just a simple little image here. And this is actually just a stock photo that I got from Canva, right? But another option, because I have the paid Canva account, but another option if you want to get free photos without having an upgraded Canva account is to use pexels.com, like pixels, but pexels, or unsplash.com. And those are two great websites where you can get 100% free stock images that you can style your slideshows like this in Google Slides, or even use Canva to do it. Another great thing is BombBomb. So this is not what you would want to use to actually stream your virtual real estate event, but you might want to use it to record a video to invite people on your email list or to thank them via email using BombBomb. That's a really great tool. And then finally, you have MailChimp and Constant Contact, because a little later in this training, we're going to talk about what you should do after the event, and part of that involves a bit of email marketing. So you're going to want to make sure that you have some type of ESP set up. And when I say ESP, I mean email service provider. MailChimp, Constant Contact, kvCore is one. I believe Keller Williams has a Command, has the ability to send mass emails and drip campaigns and things like that. So where are you marketing your event online? So I'm pulling this away really quick. Where would you market your online event? I see that we have more people here from before. Let's see. What are some great places? Put inside of the chat if you can. Where are some great places to actually market your event? So I see Anna says Facebook, definitely. And there's different ways to do it on Facebook, which I'm going to talk about. With Instagram, yeah, of course, definitely. You wanna put it in those places. So let's break it down. First things first is you want to send the event invite to the people in your mail list, for sure, your email list, right? If you don't have an email list, I highly recommend taking the time to actually build that out. You don't necessarily have to get started with sending emails, but you should definitely be collecting emails at the very least, so that when you're ready in your business to tackle sending a weekly email of some sort, you actually have all of those emails compiled and half the work is done for you. Another option is to send a mass text, right? I mentioned earlier that I am an agent with eXp Realty. One of the tools that we get is kvCore. And this allows us to send mass text messages as well as mass emails through drip campaigns, smart campaigns, and things like that, right? So you want to make sure that you cover these two, because this is going to be your past, present, and future clients, prospects, old leads, and things like that. Mass text will pretty much cover your sphere of influence, basically everyone in your phone. And you also want to create a Facebook event page for the event that you're creating, especially because this is going to make it easier for people who are not even within your network. If the event that you're hosting is something that they are possibly interested in, Facebook will definitely take a step for you for free to show them that this potential event is happening in their area and they might want to attend it. So don't skimp out on creating a Facebook event page where people can sign up for the event and find out more information. Of course, Facebook and Instagram organic, right? You definitely want to do some posts on there, Instagram stories and all of that stuff. I'm always pushing on Instagram that we are doing these free trainings. And I kid you not, every single time that I put out a story about these events, we get more signups. So it works. Don't skimp out. Don't be shy about it. Put it out there. Don't be afraid to blast social media with it, because that's how you're going to get the signups on there. Another thing is cold calling and hub marketing. Now, someone might be thinking, why would I cold call for an online event? That's a little weird, right? And I'm only saying that because I've definitely heard that a couple of times from other agents. And you have to think about it this way. How much warmer of a conversation would you have if you are prospecting on the phone, which most people are actually nervous about to begin with? How much more warm of a conversation would you have if the approach of the conversation wasn't, hey, give me your listing, or hey, I'm awkwardly calling you because I want your listing, but I don't know what to say, right? Versus, hey, I'm hosting this value-driven event that I would like to invite you to if you would be interested. Right? First things first, if they are interested in attending the event, they might just be looking to buy a home, sell a home, invest in homes, something like that, improve their credit to eventually buy a home, right? If they say yes, which then you have to get their email address to send them the invitation or their phone number. And during that conversation, you get to pivot into, are there any things in particular that, regarding the topic that you're interested in learning more about, so we can make sure that we definitely cover it, right? Which might actually lead to you having a genuine, nice, deep conversation about what it is that they're trying to accomplish with their real estate goals, which could lead to a listing appointment, right? Whether it's before the event or after. So don't skip out on actually using things like prospecting over the phone, calling for sale by owners, making geo calls, which some people call circle prospecting, right? You call through the area and you invite all of the people who live there to attend your virtual event, and all you have to do is email them the link or text them the link, right? So you can get their contact information and secure that into your CRM. Right? Or hub marketing, where you would literally pass out a flyer at a local transportation hub or shopping hub, right? And you say, hey, I'm having this online event. Come learn about how to make your credit better for free. Come learn about how to understand what mortgages are available out there for free. Come learn about how to become a first-time home buyer, right? You're going to find people in the crowd who are actually interested in that type of thing, right? This is probably the most, physically exhausting version of it. But it's worth the hard work, because the more people you get to attend that event, the more business you're going to get out of it, the more relationships you're going to build, right? And let's not forget Eventbrite, as well as Facebook local groups. Those are just a given. And Eventbrite actually is pro virtual event right now, considering everything that's going on. So this is a great place for you to promote it. I'm actually getting emails all the time for real estate trainings that are going on Eventbrite. Because they're just, they're not making much money from people attending in-person events. So it works to Eventbrite's benefit to push those virtual events. So you definitely have an advantage right now. And then Facebook local groups, if you haven't already, I highly recommend, if you're a real estate agent especially, which most of you are who are in here, we do get the occasional investor inside of these. You want to make sure that you are part of the local Facebook groups in your area. I kid you not, I'm part of 3 of them. Which are like the farm areas that I focus in. And literally at least once a month, there's someone who says that they're looking for a real estate agent. Now, the trick is obviously being, well inside of those groups where you're participating, so you're getting the notifications, right? There is some work involved, but it really works to your benefit to actually be part of those groups, because you're going to see those opportunities. And then if you are a member of the group and you're active and they know who you are, it's going to be easy for you to promote your virtual event, which is free, right? And it helps the community by providing them with education on becoming a homeowner, which increases the value of areas potentially, right? And of course, just a reminder that since it's a virtual event, you want to make sure that you have a link to it, whether it's that you did it through Zoom and there's a Zoom link like the one that you signed up for this event, right? Or you create a landing page for it with whatever landing page software you're using or website that you have, right? And if you're interested about learning about landing pages and squeeze pages and how to actually get more bang for your buck and set those up, there is a free training on designforrealtors.com where you can watch exactly how to do all of that and more. And then of course we have Facebook and Instagram ads, which you can use to promote your free event, which I'll talk about in just a second about how you need to be careful with that. And then also YouTube pre-roll ads, which falls under the same category, right? So these are all ways to promote them for free. These are the final two ways to do it in the paid version where you pay to play, right? So let's talk about the steps to actually launch your event. And just a reminder, if anyone does have any questions about the stuff that we're going over, because I am moving a bit fast because there's a lot to cover, let me know in the chat. I'm happy to help and answer your questions, clarify some things if you do have questions. So don't hesitate, questions are welcome. So here's the thing, if you are running ads, right? Remember I said I'd talk about it in just a second. Let me take a sip of water. If you are running ads, you want to make sure that it's actually for an event that is large enough and far away enough that it is worth running the ads at all. And what do I mean by that? If I am hosting a first-time homebuyer seminar and it's only 1 week away, right? And I just started promoting it organically, I am actually not going to take the time to set up an entire Facebook ad and launch it. And the reason being is that Facebook oftentimes will take 2 to 3 days to learn about how to serve your ad to the audience that you've set up within the ad when you create it, right? So if it takes 2 to 3 days for it to possibly learn who to show it to, right? And my event is a week away, that doesn't exactly leave very much time to get the most amount of signups possible, right? So you want to keep that in mind. So if you're doing advertising, you want to make sure, and I see Vanessa just asked, how many weeks prior to the event should we start the marketing? I'll talk about that. So with the paid ads, you want to make sure that you, at least the event itself with paid ads, right? Specifically, the event is like 3 weeks out, right? It's 3 weeks out. You have enough time to set up the ad, let it run, see how it does, adjust it if it's not working correctly, and get more bang for your buck that way. So 3 weeks out is perfectly fine, right? For organic events, on the other hand, you can do it with a little bit shorter of a time, depending on how many people you want to get there. So there's sort of an ebb and flow to this, right? Now, what do I mean by that? If you put the event too far in advance, right, you might get people who sign up, right, but they might forget that the event was actually going to happen. So if you're going to put the event really far in advance, like 3 weeks, right, 4 weeks, that's really far, but you want to make sure that you actually have some automations set in place or reminders for yourself to remind other people that, hey, our event is 1 week away. Hey, our event is 2 weeks away. Hey, just a reminder, in 3 days the event is happening. Hope you have it in your calendar, right? And there are ways to set this up, but you want to make sure that you have those reminders in there. Ideally, I would say that 2 weeks is like the golden area, right? It's just far away enough that if you wanted to do an ad, you have wiggle room, right? And it's just far away enough that you could probably promote it on social media every other day up until you get to the point where, you know, you're like 3 days or 4 days out to the event, 2 days, 48 hours, 24 hours out from the event, where you're just like straight hitting it on social media saying, hey, 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 this is the event. You're sending emails like, make sure you RSVP, make sure you RSVP, sign up, sign up, sign up, right? It's less annoying when you do it in the final like 72, 24, 48 hours mark of the event versus if you're straight hitting people with the event promotions for 4 weeks, right? People are going to kind of like they're going to get sick of it. So you want to keep that in mind. And it really depends on what type of event you're hosting too, right? Some of the ones that we talked about are going to be more exciting for people than others. right? So the steps to launch your event. First things first is you want to have an event idea, right? And you want to choose a date and time. On top of choosing a date and time, you want to choose a platform, right? Are you going to do it on Zoom? Is it going to be webinar style, like how this one is, where you're seeing my face and my actual screen, but I can't see your faces, right? But you can participate in the chat. That's another option, right? You want to confirm collaborations, right? One big pitfall for real estate agents is that you might talk to a lender about collaborating on a virtual event, but you didn't actually like confirm with them about the date, the time, the topic, how long it is that they're talking. Are they responsible as well to promote the event to their sphere of influence and their database and things like that, right? Which I highly recommend telling them, hey, yes, would you please, promote this event to your database as well, right? You want to make sure that after you have done steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, that you create the flyers and posts. You don't have to have your presentation ready first. It doesn't have to come first. I recommend it if it's your first time doing it and you're nervous and you just want to have everything ready, but you don't have to create the slides first. You can start promoting it before you actually even create the slides. Then you want to make sure you create the slides if you're using slides, right? If you're comfy with just like talking, right? Or like you prefer to do it this way, then by all means, that's fine. You can just do video. But people do learn better when they have visual, audio, right? And they actually are able to read something. Right, so that's one of the reasons that I use slides as well, and I go back and forth from my face directly on the screen to the slides. It helps to list things out and stuff like that. So another thing is you want to have a landing page created for your event. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a landing page per se, but you want to have a specific area that people can go to, because when you're promoting it on social media, you're going to be sending people to the link in your bio. You're going to be sending people to the learn more button on your Facebook business page. You're going to be sending people possibly to an Eventbrite page, or you might be sending people to a Facebook event page. You might be sending people to all types of places, but you want to have like a centralized area that's just like one general link that people can go to, and that's like the sign up area, right? Now, obviously Eventbrite, they would sign up on Eventbrite, right? Or Zoom, they might sign up in Zoom, and that could be your landing page. But you can also create a landing page all on your own through something like leadpages.net, right? Or if you have KV Core and you want to make an actual landing page from there, you can do that. I believe Command with Keller Williams also has that. Douglas Elliman has one. Each brokerage usually has their own version of it. But you can create that landing page, have people sign up, and then you can import them to whatever video streaming tool you're using, like Zoom, and send them the link. Right? So you definitely have options, but you want to make sure that you have a centralized area set up where people can sign up, right? You don't want people just saying they're going to attend the event via like a Facebook event page, because they'll click that they're attending it, but then you haven't captured their actual information, and you might have to like chase them on Facebook to make sure that they attend, right? Another thing is that you want to have reminders set up. So, truth story time. The first couple of virtual trainings that we did for Design for Realtors like this, we didn't have any reminder emails set up, which is like a total marketing fail, and I beat myself up about it so bad, because I should know better, right? But the small things, but I should know better, and I didn't set up reminders, and so we had literally like, we would have broken how many people we can actually have in here, right? We can have a total of 100 people in here at a time. We would have broken it, but we only had like 50% of the people who signed up actually attend, because there was no reminder, right? Which was a mistake, but thankfully we have replays. But moving forward, we backtracked that, and we made sure to set up reminders. So now everyone gets a reminder the day before the event, and everyone gets a reminder an hour before the event, right? And moving forward, we might actually add a reminder 5 minutes before the event saying we're getting started now. Right? So you want to make sure that you have reminders set up, because people forget. And just because you might be a super organized real estate agent doesn't mean that the average consumer actually has a calendar that they listen to, right? So you want to be helpful to them and just give them a little nudge that, hey, reminder, this is happening today or tomorrow or next week, right? Then after you've set all of that up, right? A lot of work. But trust me, you do it one step at a time, and it doesn't seem like that much work, and it'll actually be fun, especially when you do the event. you want to launch the event promotions, right? You set up all of the foundation. You want to launch the event promotions, and then you want to make sure that you have your post-event protocol, right? So what is the post-event protocol? So everyone who's inside of here, I see we have more people than we started with. What do you think you should do after the event is over? Put it in the comments. Can you please, for me, write inside of the comments, what is it that you think a real estate agent should do after this event is over? You got the buyers and sellers into the video, online video event. What happens next? What should you do? If you hosted it at 6 p.m. in the evening, should you call everybody immediately after? Like, what should you do? I see Vanessa says, follow up and put them in a campaign. Genius, yes. That's definitely part of it. Anyone else? Any other ideas on what you should actually do? Okay, so we're getting more than one person saying follow up. Yeah, of course, follow up. Yes. So more specifically, you want to make sure that you actually have a system in place to follow up with them with, right? Even if the system is small and simple, it could be something so simple as like using the send later button on Google, right? Where you added everyone's email addresses and you're sending them, you write them a thank you email, right? And you just send it later. It's automated because you did it before the event, but it's gonna send like 5 minutes after the event is over, right? So you wanna send an automated thank you. And you wanna do this in the form of an email first. Then you wanna make sure that you call and text them, right? If they call and nothing, you text them, right? So really let's change that to or, right? But what you don't want to do is just call them and then like not leave a voicemail or send a text message, right? A lot of people will make the phone call, but they won't send a text after. Some people will send a text, never get a reply, and they never bother to call, right? Don't be that real estate agent. Okay, you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table. You want to call or however you want to say it, text a personal thank you, right? Because you sent the email, but not everybody's going to open that email, let alone read the email. So you want to make sure that you give them a call and you say, hey, I just wanted to take the time to thank you for sharing your time with me yesterday evening, right? Or earlier today, depending on what time you had the event. And I just wanted to check in and see, did you enjoy the event? Like, do you think it would be good to host more like these? Do you have anyone that you know who might be interested in attending an event like this in the future, right? Did you have any questions that we didn't get a chance to answer during the event? I know oftentimes people tend to have questions pop up after the event, and you get the conversation started like that. And that is like the first 2 steps that are absolutely necessary, right? They're necessary. Don't skip these first 2 things. And then the third thing is that you want to put them on a drip campaign based on what the response was, right? So if you haven't taken Alex's class on actual real estate sales funnel secrets, which we're going to have on designforrealtors.com later today, if you haven't taken the funnel secrets, if you have not taken the funnel secrets class, I highly recommend it. It's going to explain the benefits and how to actually, create a drip campaign. You want to use that, just like Vanessa said earlier, follow up and put them in a campaign, right? A lot of us are actually part of brokerages that offer this type of technology to set up drip campaigns, but you haven't explored it for whatever reason and you haven't implemented it. I highly recommend it. Right? And some things that you can use are your CRM or possibly Zapier. If you've never heard of that, Zapier.com, great tool for automation. You can use MailChimp for constant contact. And depending on what type of phone you have, you can set up automated calls and texts, right? So you want to make sure that you have a post-event protocol set up. And the reason that this is step number 10, right? And you don't see actually have the event, right? In this list, steps to launch your event, not actually have the event, right? Is that you want to launch the event promotions and have your post-event protocol set up. You want to know what you're going to do before it's even time to do it. You want to have that set up, right? And then you have the actual event, right? So let's talk really quickly about the power of collaborative events, right? So one thing that a lot of people, it keeps them from actually hosting online events is that they're camera shy, right? Some of us feel weird about sitting here. Like, I've gotten people ask me, like, how can you sit there on the camera and talk for that long? Right? Like, and it's a question that, in all honesty, I don't really know how to answer, aside from the fact that this is fun for me. I enjoy this, right? I could probably talk for longer than an hour on a virtual training, right? But you want to keep in mind, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. We have a class where I talk about guerrilla marketing and doing SWOT analyses and things like that. So, that's going to be on designforrealtors.com. And if you're watching this replay, you can probably find it now by the time you see this one. But you want to make sure that you understand, like, am I good at being in front of the camera, right? And truth be told, being in front of this little webinar camera right here, this little webcam, sorry, webcam, is so much easier than actually having a giant camera lens in my face. And I too get nervous. Like, believe it or not, I get nervous. I get the sweats. I get the shakes. I sometimes will talk too fast, right? Sometimes I'll need my water. My very first ever public speaking gig, where like someone approached me and they were like, "We love the way that you teach. We want you to come and speak in front of a bunch of agents." And there was like almost 50 people in the room. Most of them I never even met, right? I had this whole presentation set up about social media and how to use it for your real estate business, right? When I first started doing any speaking, it was my very first time. And I thought that it would be a great idea to drink tons of coffee. And I was so nervous that I asked for another coffee right before it got started, as opposed to asking for water, which now I know better. Water is the way to go. But I wound up spilling my coffee in front of everybody in the middle of the presentation, right? And you would think in the moment that I might feel like, oh, I'm never going to live it down. But now looking back, I'm so glad that it happened, because it was necessary. In high school, I used to have a chorus teacher. I was in the chorus in high school, and she once told us before we would go on stage to sing, she said, "It's okay to be nervous. It's not okay to show it." Right? And the truth is that for a lot of people, even big actors, they might be nervous in front of the camera, but they don't show it. You learn how to just tuck it away somewhere, right? And eventually it turns into a thrill more so than nerves, right? So if you are a real estate agent who's nervous to go in front of the camera, what I would actually recommend is do some practice runs, right? Probably the least scary version of doing this whole thing where you host an online event would be doing it in this style, where it's webinar style and you're not directly looking at people's faces, right? Because it's very easy when you're still nervous about it to look at everyone's faces when they're looking at you and you're looking at them, and to feel nervous about what their facial expressions might mean about what you're saying, right? And one thing you have to keep in mind with virtual events is that a lot of people tend to be distracted while they're attending this. It doesn't mean that they're not listening, right? They're probably listening, but they might, veer off somewhere, or they might have looked at a quick text message, or they might just have a frowning face, and that's like their face, especially if they're a New Yorker, right? So you don't want to take that to heart, whether you're doing it physically in person or what we're talking about here today, where it's an actual video event, right? So I would say practice. Open up your webcam and just start talking. Record yourself. Critique yourself. Just 5 minutes. Spend 5 minutes talking and see how you feel. How sweaty do you get, right? Do you need to crack open the window when you do it because you know you're gonna like have all these symptoms of nervousness, right? And if you're not nervous, right, great, right? But is there something else that you need to work on? Right? Do you need to speak slower? Do you need to explain things more? Do you need to explain things less? Right? Really set yourself up so that you understand what's going to work for you, what's not going to work for you. Right? And for example, there are a lot of real estate agents out there who like to host events, but maybe they're not able to talk for long periods of time. Right? That's not a bad thing. All that might mean is that perhaps you just host a shorter event, right? Or you have someone be in the event with you. So that brings us to our next topic, which is the power of collaborative events. So if you are a real estate agent who's a little nervous, or maybe you can't, you don't know what to talk about for so long, or you don't have all the information, right? You're a newer agent and you don't have the transactional knowledge to actually teach buyers and sellers about the topics that you want to teach them about. You can collaborate with lenders, title companies. You can collaborate with inspectors, with credit specialists, right? There's so many people that you can collaborate with, appraisers, so many people that you can bring onto your online real estate event, and they can do half of the talking for you, right? Like, to be honest with you, like, I know a thing or two about credit, but I wouldn't go and teach a class about it on my own, right? I'd go get someone who fixes people's credit all day, every day, and I'd say, hey, I want to host an online event about how to actually, make your credit better, right? And I'm going to record it, right? Which we're going to talk about in a sec. I'm going to record it. And then, I'd love for you to talk about how, some quick tips and tricks that people can use to fix their credit, and possibly what the benefits are of having a specialist fix it, right? And what I'll talk about as a real estate agent is the importance of having good credit, right? And how real estate opens doors to generational wealth, and why your credit is important for getting started in that arena, right? All you would have to do is talk for 5 minutes, and the credit specialist can do the rest, but you're the host of it, which means that you'll get all the contact information. The credit specialist will be the one promoting it along with you, right? So you're getting some cross promotion there, right? And it's very, very easy for you to actually make that type of event happen, where you're not doing much of the talking, you're just doing the introduction, okay? So another thing is that, I remember I mentioned here in the beginning that you definitely want to stay to the end, because I'm going to say something that might be a little bit like for you, right? And what I'm about to say, you could probably Google it. You can probably find some information on it. It's not done too often, I'll tell you that thing. And it's not necessarily easy, but open up your imagination with me, right? Because we like to get creative in here at Design for Realtors. So imagine a world where, let's take the credit specialist, for example. Imagine that you have your real estate website set up, and you get this credit specialist to do an event with you that's online. You spoke for maybe 5 minutes, and they carried the online event the rest of the way. They helped you promote it, right? You did everything organic. You didn't pay a red cent for advertisements. But you've got your real estate website. Now, you have a recording of this, which means that anyone can watch it any time of the day. All you have to do is set it up where they will be able to access it, right? So remember we mentioned earlier about utilizing some of these events to bring us new clients while we're sleeping, right? Anybody here ever get a Zillow or Street Easy inquiry, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning, right? We're like, why are people searching for homes at 3 a.m., right? But, we've all had late nights. Some people work different shifts, or, it was hard to get the kids to sleep that night, so they decided to search for homes at 1 in the morning, right? As opposed to throughout the day at work. So imagine this. You have this recording. It's chock full of information that's helpful. Your face is on it as the person bringing this education to the masses, right? But instead of only hosting that live event, you set this free video, right, the recording, you set it up, whether it's via YouTube or some other platform like Vimeo. You set it up on a page on your website, but you don't make that page public, right? Now you have an offer. And this offer can be used in Facebook ads, Instagram swipe up ads, organic posts, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, right? Link in your bio, all that jazz. You now can have this YouTube or Vimeo video set up on a private area of your website. And when I say private, I just mean that if someone goes to your homepage, they can't just click video and then watch it, right? But you set that up. And what you do is you either A, run ads, or B, you periodically promote it as learn how to blah, 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 right? It was credit that we were talking about. Learn how to improve your credit for free, right? That's enticing to a lot of people, right? A first-time home buyer might, like we said earlier, have the down payment but not have the best credit, right? And now you're bringing this information, and the credit person provided some information too, right? So you have this private page. Now what you do is you create a barrier. The person who wants to watch that free training has to give their name, email, and phone number. Simple. But now you're getting leads, right, that you have the opportunity to convert and investigate whether they are qualified to buy a home now or later, right? And the credit person might get leads as well if you want to set it up that way and have an abundant heart about it, right? Which is great, right? Now you're feeding your business and someone else's business passively on automation, where this person will sign up, they will get access to that video that they can watch on demand, right? And then you're gonna have a campaign that will actually send them an email and say, hey, did you get a chance to watch the training yet? I wanna know if you have any questions. And you call them and you say, hey, I saw that you signed up for the training. I just wanted to thank you. You know, we do our best to put value out there. I wanted to get your feedback. Did you enjoy it? Was it valuable for you? Did you have any questions, right? And you can do that without spending any money on ads, or you can put money into ads and promote it, right? And it's going 24/7 and people are signing up for it. And the way that you make sure that the people who sign up for it are local to you and they are actually buyers and sellers that you could potentially work with is that you make sure that the advertising lingo, whether it's that it's a paid ad or that you're, you know, promoting it, marketing it organically on social media, you want to make sure that the language and the imagery that you're using speaks to the people that are in the area, right? Forest Hills first-time home buyers. Learn how to fix your credit for free, right? Very simple title, could be better, right? But it's somewhere to start. And you could do this for all the events that we listed there. Check this out. Let's go back to the event list that we had. Types of events you could host. Imagine you had a first-time homebuyer seminar running 24/7, and someone had to provide their name, email, and phone number on a landing page in order to actually access it. Leads while you're sleeping. Beginner investor seminar. Leads while you're sleeping. Credit improvement. FSBO seminar. I mean, I don't know about the virtual showings one. That's just because of what's going on now. But relocation seminar, right? You might be able to have referral income from referring these particular leads to people. Home seller seminar, mortgage 101 seminar, financial literacy seminar, right? Putting yourself and your real estate brand inside of people's minds before they're even ready to buy, right? And a place where someone can book a virtual consultation with you. It's just an idea. Does everyone feel like that's something that they might be able to carry out? Let me know in the comments. Help me know that I'm not crazy and that that's not too wild of an idea. Yes, okay, good. So this idea is doable. And all it would take is just having a recording and then setting up a fresh landing page, right? So does anyone have any questions? See, so someone said, that's exactly what I've been thinking. Yeah, so just set it up. Now someone says, I've been thinking that, just don't know how. So the how part is literally everything that we've talked about here. If you have a real estate website, it is 100% possible. You just have to learn about like how you would actually execute it on that particular website. So for the person who said that they don't know how, you can actually, you know, send me a message and tell me what type of website you have. It's Squarespace, Weebly, Wix. If you have KV Core, if you have Keller Williams Command, something with Douglas Elliman, WordPress. I'm very familiar with all the different types of website builders out there, and I might be able to give you some solid advice on how to actually get a page like that set up, right? I won't build it for you, but I can guide you in the right direction to get started, right? Does anyone have any questions about the stuff that we talked about? Is anyone here going to attempt to actually host an online real estate event? Put yes in the comments. Okay, we got a yes. Anyone else? There's quite a few people in here. Anyone? Okay, good, good. Yes, yes. Awesome. All right. So, any questions about any of these events? Any ideas that someone has that might not have been listed there that you might want to share with everyone? Right? Because we all have an abundant mindset in this room because we're sharing information with each other. Good, we're getting a couple more yeses, not for ideas, but that you're gonna execute on an event. Awesome. All right. So that in a nutshell is how you would actually put an online event together. So if no one has any questions, that's pretty much the end of this. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time and sharing a piece of your Wednesday with us, with me, with Design for Realtors during these trainings. It has been so much fun and amazing to actually share in this time with you all and put out all this information and get all the feedback. Like literally, a piece of my heart melts of pure joy whenever I get an email or a DM or a comment from someone saying that these trainings were helpful. So it really means a lot. Thank you so much. We don't take your time lightly. We appreciate it. And as always, we are wishing you many, many, many new happy clients, accepted offers, and lots and lots and lots and lots of closings, putting that out there into the universe for you. So once again, this training is brought to you by Design for Realtors. You can check us out at designforrealtors.com, where you can find many other trainings like this one, including intro to Facebook ads, how to build squeeze pages, how to make e-blasts on KV Core, how to earn $200,000 per year as a real estate agent. Lots and lots of trainings. We're putting them out there as quickly as we can with as much information as we can. And for a limited time, if you're watching this replay, it might not be possible, but if you're watching this live right now, you can save 20% off of your order, your entire order, 20% off by using the code SPRING20, SPRING 20. So use code SPRING20 and you can get 20% off hoodies like this one. Don't mind my orange hair. So 20% off of these bad boys, t-shirts, leggings, we have tote bags, real estate agent planner pro, lots and lots of stuff for you to choose from. So thank you all so much, and I hope that you have an awesome Wednesday. Bye.